the deadline set by the Biden administration as to increase in humanitarian aid. Israel was found by the Biden administration 30 days ago, or 31 days ago, of inhibiting aid to Palestinians who are on the, sort of just riding the knife's edge of starvation in huge swaths of the Gaza Strip. Here is the State Department spokesperson, Vendant Patel, trying to rationalize, make sense of this whole thing. And the reporters are like, look, you guys are the ones who set these metrics. 350 trucks by 30 days from now, this amount of aid, and the metrics aren't met. How are you justifying doing nothing now?
Achieved.
Before you move to Lebanon, can I just ask you, why did you bother to put in 350 trucks a day if it doesn't matter?
I'm not going to speak to
I mean, you keep saying you're not going to speak to specific metrics, but you guys are the ones that made this specific. We didn't give the Israelis 30 days to do all this stuff. You guys did. And now those 30 days are up. And as you heard from everyone so far, and these aid groups that came out last night, they haven't met them. And all of a sudden you say that the metrics that you put out don't matter.
I never said that they don't matter. What I said was...
said rabbit hole. I mean, these are metrics exactly like you put out. It's not a rabbit hole.
Meaning I don't want to take up time getting into a specific tit for tat on like truck numbers.
Well, then why did you let them in the letter?
You can't take
those
time.
metrics, the metrics and the number of, let me just be very clear, the metrics and the number of trucks getting into Gaza every day absolutely matter. It is, I said that to him because I did not want to get into a specific technical conversation on inflows and outload flows. I don't have more updated numbers for you beyond the ones what I said to Tom. Matt, the metrics absolutely matter. The point that we are making, the two broad points that we made is that one, on specific truck numbers, we think these operational changes that we've made can help get us to that goal. That's the first point. The second point is that all of these steps, and even the steps that have yet to be taken, and even the steps that maybe were not even laid out in the letter, the point is not about specific steps. It is about what the totality of their contribution is to the humanitarian situation in Gaza. That's what we're focused on.
But just one more thing. When you said we're going to continue to make those assessments, can you point us to one assessment on any kind of IHL violation that the administration has done since the beginning of Gaza war?
Humaira, since October 7th, when we have seen certain things take place that are inconsistent with perhaps maybe how we would have gone about such a endeavor, or they are inconsistent with international law, we have raised those and addressed those specifically.
Okay. I mean, this is all just so in other words, there have been no assessments. They don't take assessments because they don't want to find out what they're going to find. As far as the metrics that they laid out, they're not going to be used as a mechanism in which to determine whether there has been a violation of the demands that the United States supposedly put on Israel. Those metrics were there just as a sort of a broad impressionistic notion of what holistically could be done, without offering any other like parts of that holistic notion of what could be done. Like, what else is it going to look like? What else is humanitarian aid going to look like to the Palestinians if it doesn't come in a truck? Like, is it like, well, they haven't been bombing at the same rate? That's not humanitarian aid. It's disgusting. Here is a testimony in the House of Commons by Rohan Talbot. He's the Director of Advocacy and Campaigns and Medical Aid for Palestinians. This is what they're looking at.
Thank you. And I wanted to address the point head on. One of the provisional measures ordered by the International Court of Justice to prevent genocide was that the State of Israel shall take effective measures to prevent the destruction and ensure the preservation of evidence related to allegations of acts within the scope of the Genocide Convention. No forensic specialists have been able to enter, no independent human rights experts have been able to enter, no international media have been able to enter, etc. And to be perfectly honest, humanitarian agencies feel that there's a sort of Damocles hanging over us if we speak out too strongly on issues of accountability, though they are so essential for the protection of the people that we serve. I do want to register, however, there has been, based on expert testimony and open source information, at least one major investigation by an independent UN Commission of Inquiry set up by the Human Rights Council, which found just over a month ago that Israel has implemented a concerted policy to destroy the healthcare system of Gaza. Israeli security forces have deliberately killed, wounded, arrested, detained, mistreated and tortured medical personnel and targeted medical vehicles, constituting the war crime of willful killing and mistreatment, and the crime against humanity of extermination. Israeli authorities carried out such acts while tightening the siege of Gaza Strip in the context of collective punishment of the Palestinian population of Gaza. So there is already on record an independent body that has found that Israel is violating international law, is committing war crimes, is committing the crime against humanity of extermination. Extermination under the Rome Statute is the killing of persons, including by inflicting conditions of life calculated to bring about the destruction of part of the population. It is our assessment that this is a war on Palestinians, that the humanitarian crisis is not some accidental byproduct, but across the board, as you've heard from doctors there, from our own agencies, from Palestinians themselves. You ask any independent observer or any person on the ground, they will tell you that this is a situation of mass atrocities, and therefore the approach that the government takes simply cannot be based purely on aid alone. What is the point of providing for funding for UNRWA if Israel is going to dismantle UNRWA's services? What is the point of providing aid that comes into Al Arish and you see it packing up at the border if it's not allowed to enter? If it does enter, then there's no security, so it can't be distributed. There's no warehousing. There's no fuel. It's besieged from the north of Gaza. Our colleagues tell us every single day that it's hell. And what I'm really worried about is my colleagues, when I ask them, what do you want me to say in front of these people? They say, don't bother. Don't bother. It doesn't matter anymore. We're waiting to die. Thank you.
I mean, I guess at least they're having hearings. We just, in this country, just don't want to hear about it. Our government doesn't want to hear about it.
See what these
people don't want to hear about it.
College administrators are doing to suppress anybody concerned about it.
It really is stunning. It's even more horrendous in my mind, for people who grew up and a significant part of their education was dedicated towards not forgetting the Holocaust. In my instance, like I went to Hebrew school, 2-3 times a week, I think it was. And at least a third of that, at least, was dedicated to the Holocaust studies. And the idea of, never again, which was, I always understood as like, we can't allow something like this to happen in the context of humanity. Not for just like, never again, specifically for one group of people. And the whole world is just turning their back to this slaughter. And again, there is no doubt in my mind, there are also situations where, you have potential famine, Sudan, where you have civil wars or killings that are going on but we're actively funding this.
Biden's wrapping it into his economic legacy.
Yep. It's disgusting. Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.